Cosmic Woes of Starving Beasts. Chapter 5. The Sting of Chrome. Jeremy jerked his head in a panic up and away from the window, which he had not so subtly been using as a pillow. His throat was dry and raw, and his face felt hot and flushed. The dried-up crust from a long slumber accumulated in his eyes, making it difficult to open them. He rubbed and wiped away the bad dream until he was able to see clearly. It was pitch black outside now, and they were parked in front of some sort of gas station. The numbers on the gas price board were flickering and spritzing in and out, flashing neon light against the darkened ground. When Jeremy looked next to him at the driver's side seat, he noticed Noah wasn't there. Jeremy sat up straight, stretching his arms and his back out wildly, which made creaks and pops like microwave popcorn. When Jeremy finished his waking routine, he glanced around outside the windows of the car. There wasn't much to see. The gas station lot only had one other car in it, at the other far end, parked against the dumpster and wooden fence. Probably whoever works here, Jeremy thought to himself reasonably. Out of nowhere, a man came clambering over the fence, panicked and sweating. He was running from something. The man sprinted over towards the Mustang that Jeremy was peering out from and began slamming his head on the window violently. Hello? Is someone in there? Look, you gotta help me. There's this man. He came out of the shadows and he... Before the man could finish his sentence, he was yanked away, some force pulling him into the darkness of the parking lot and away from the car. Jeremy waited, unsure of what was happening, dazed from waking up from his nightmare and landing inside another one. Jeremy began to reach for his door handle, curious yet cautiously, when a ghastly scream rang out on the night air. It was a pain-filled shriek that could only be described as utterly bone-chilling, and then there was absolute silence. Jeremy sat with his hand resting above the door handle, a drop of sweat falling past his nose, waiting for any sign of movement outside of the dark. His throat was still acutely lacking in moisture. Minutes passed. Jeremy had just about had enough of this torturous game. As he turned to his door and began pulling at the door handle, he heard a popping click and a thud. Noah had come back from inside the gas station. "Yo, my man! Sorry about that. Had to empty Hoover's Dam, if you catch my drift." Quickly, Noah noticed the ghost-pale complexion and scared shit look on Jeremy's face, who was still gripping the door handle. You alright, dude? You see somebody get mugged or something?" Jeremy had no idea how to answer him. What was he supposed to say? "Oh, yeah, no worries here, man. I only saw some poor dude get kidnapped in the dead of night, just like a lowly mouse against a venomous snake." The thoughts of what to say kept tumbling around like gumballs inside of his fractured mind, and he said nothing. Noah, however, seemed to pick up on the unusualness and perplexity of what Jeremy had witnessed. "Let's get the fuck out of here. Sound good? Getting some bad vibes here." It was like he read Jeremy's mind on that note, although if he truly had, he would be just as scared shitless as him right now. Noah put the keys into the ignition and pulled the car into reverse, peeling out of their parking spot in the corner of the gas station and heading off towards the main road. Before the front of the car could reach the exit, the same man from before came sprinting out of the darkness and in front of the headlights. "Help me! The man held onto the side of his neck, where profuse blood was spurting and spilling out onto his hand. It appeared as if someone had torn right through his esophagus and out the left side with a chainsaw. The man fell onto the road. The man fell onto the hood of the car and down onto the road. Hard to tell if he was dead or just passed out. "Passenger side door. Get the gun," Noah said with a quiet assertiveness, barely above a whisper. Jeremy didn't wait to ask any questions. He looked down, and there it was. A black 1990 Glock with an extended magazine and neon green sights. Jeremy grabbed the pistol quickly, feeling the heft in his hands, before handing it to Noah. Noah didn't miss a beat, already opening the door and stepping out as the gun hit his open palm. "Stay in the car. Use my radio if I get into trouble." He shouted back at Jeremy. Jimmy looked around before spotting a little handheld radio attached to the center dashboard. It had a yellow plastic body with rubber grips and a thick, stocky antenna pointed upwards. Noah stepped out in front of the car's headlights, where he saw the collapsed man. Blood was seeping and pooling out of his neck in thick, syrupy waves and onto the black pavement. "Hello? Sir? Are you okay?" Noah said, slowly approaching the man with his gun drawn cautiously pointed towards the ground. Just as Noah reached the man and knelt down to check if he was alive or not, a swift shadow whisked across the headlight beams, which only Jeremy seemed to have noticed. Then, within a few more seconds, it whisked back, slamming Noah to the ground and disappearing again. It moved like a strained blur and hit like a semi-truck. Jeremy could not even make out a shape in its quickly retreating form. Noah quickly stood back up and pointed his gun at the surrounding darkness, trying to pinpoint an origin of the attack. "Where are you, you nasty fuck? Don't fuck with me!" Noah blurted out with rage and anger, gritting his teeth and clamping his feet down hard to hold his ground. As if in response, the shadow whisked again, this time heading straight at Noah and the car. Noah caught sight and unleashed a hailstorm of bullet fire at the dancing incorporeal form, shooting round after round until at last he landed a blow. A pain-filled shriek came from it. The thing let out like a warning cry towards them like a wailful banshee. It whisked quickly away from Noah and the car and off into the dark, this time retreating for good. Noah looked down towards where he had shot at the thing, and he saw a poisonous green ooze splattered on the road. Noah rushed back to the car, opening the door aggressively and tossing Jeremy the smoking pistol, which was still burning hot from being shot so many times. Noah grabbed the radio and held it to his mouth. A low beep rang out, and a click was static before Noah began to speak. "Come in, all available units. This is Noah Quill. I have multiple shots fired. One civilian casualty. Suspect is on the run. The suspect is unknown in race, gender, weight, and height. Suspect is..." Noah's voice falters, unable to describe the thing that had attacked them. He quickly resumes his radio call. "Send any available officers to Clifton, the Shell gas station right off of Van Duzer Street. Send a medical team and a forensic team as well. Over." Noah let go of the button on the radio and places it down gently on the dashboard. So gently, it's as if he's afraid the radio might shatter to pieces if he isn't careful. He brings his hands up and wipes them forcefully up and down his long, chiseled face, scrubbing the ache that had been settling in. "Jeremy, did you see that man get attacked earlier?" He looked at Jeremy now through his tired eyes, worried and unsure of what just happened. I think so. I saw that man, but..." Noah finishes the sentence for him. "But you didn't see the thing that attacked him." "Yeah, should have figured." Noah slams his fist onto the roof of the Mustang in frustration. Jeremy slowly stepped out of the car now, approaching the man who had dreadfully collapsed in front of him, his hands still clutching his slaughtered neck in desperation. Jeremy carefully flipped the man over so his chest was facing the sky and began to peel away the hand so he could inspect the man's neck. Jeremy." Noah held out his hand in a gesture that suggested stopping him, but then he pulled it back. "Yeah? What is it?" "Kinda doing something here," Jeremy shot back, not even looking in Noah's direction. Nothing, I guess. Never mind." Jeremy finally pulled the man's iron grip away from his own neck, peering down at the wreckage which had become his throat. Jeremy studied it carefully. Incision made near the esophagus, just above the larynx. Maybe a knife? No, the wound is too messy. Knife sliced clean. So then what? Whatever it was yanked out through the left of the throat. Jesus! Not only sliced the muscle and tendons, but it snapped his cervical vertebrae in half. All of these thoughts ran on Jeremy's mind while he stared carefully, Noah watching in amazement as Jeremy meticulously scanned over the dead man's corpse. After 10 minutes or so had passed, Jeremy stood up and walked over to where the blurred shadow had been shot, looking down at where the green ooze was. The green ooze had begun eating away at the road, corroding and leaving a nested indent where the green ooze still continued to fizzle and ferment. The chemical reaction caused the road to steam slightly. Acid? Did Noah shoot some kind of hidden container? Or, hell, what if it's blood? Whatever it is, it has a pH lower than any acids available to the public, and its half-life for acidic value is astounding. Jeremy crouched down and stared as the acid continued eating away at the pavement. After he had seemed sufficiently satisfied with his analysis, he stood back up and sauntered back over to Noah. "Well, Mr. Forensic Specialist, what's your verdict?" Noah said mockingly, but underneath there was a tinge of respect. Jeremy pushed his square-framed glasses up to meet the ends of his sandy hair. "Well, our tragic victim is dead, obviously. It doesn't seem like it was done with a blade. His neck bones have been completely severed along with the muscles and tendons in his neck. That green ooze is acid, highly potent enough to melt through rock anyway. Tell your guys to handle it with care. I'm still not sure what the hell that was. It couldn't have been human, could it?" Noah didn't answer Jeremy's question, instead staying silent, which caused Jeremy to ask another question. "So, what do we tell your dad?" Noah looked down, clearly searching for the same answer. I'll figure it out. Don't you worry about it, Mr. Scientist." Noah's voice was shaky and rattled, a total contrast to his normal bravado. Noah and Jeremy stood together in front of the Mustang, whose headlights were still shining brightly. Off in the distance, the sound of police sirens and ambulances could be heard wailing their cries, a haunting warning to the rest of the city that sleeps.